Hey YouTube, it's Big Air 01 here coming at you. This video today is going to be done on how to install the Megabomb, FMF Megabomb header, removing of the EXUP controller that helps with the stock exhaust for emission stuff, and also the slip-on pipe FMF Powercore 4. So I'm really excited. It's probably the most excited mod that I've done so far on this bike, or will be doing on this bike. I'm going to do a video I'm going to do a soundbite at the end to show you the difference between the stock and the upgraded exhaust. So you're gonna have to watch to the end, or scroll to the end and watch the results at the very end. So, but I'll try to do a step-by-step process of how to do this this mod. So, for a couple things, I'll start off by saying, so we have the 12 o'clock labs. It's called an EXUP controller, and this is for when you unplug the EXUP that you're gonna have the computer think that it's still there, and it's just a thing that you order from 12 o'clock labs. It's an emulator. It's basically for my bike. It could be used for a whole bunch of different bikes, but I got the one for mine. So like I said, I ordered the Powercore 4. It's an FMF 044270 is the actual model, and then the Megabomb, which is this one here, that one there, that one is FMF 044356. So it came with also a spark arrestor that you can put in the slip-on pipe, as you can see there. We'll see if I put that in yet. I haven't decided. It came with instructions on how to install it into your bike, and it came with, of course, some stickers. I ordered all of this from Fort 9 here in Canada, and I must say I ordered it like a week ago and it was here, so I'm quite impressed with the shipping and all of that with that. Okay, so I'm going to start by taking this off, and this off. So you need a Phillips for this. So you'll need also a 5mm Allen key. This pulls out at the top here, and you just pull it this way, and that's where your airbox is. You also need a 5mm Allen key to remove this plastic piece. There's 3 bolts on this exhaust plastic cover. Okay, then there's a little rubber grommet that slides out to get this plastic piece off. So now, as you can see, you've got a couple things there. You've got a bolt here to undo. You've got a bolt here to undo. Looks like those are both about a 12mm. There's some linkage right in there that you're going to have to undo. I'm going to take this cover off and see sort of what needs to be done there. And then to unhook the slip-on, it'll be this bolt here as well, which is still quite hot, and the whole exhaust should come out. So I'll try unhooking this bolt here first, these 3 bolts, and then see if I can take it all off at one go, and then potentially unhook everything from the bike itself, because I got to go to the other side to get the emulator all set up. So I'm going to start with this. This is a 12mm bolt here. Second bolt I'm going to undo is right here. It's another 12mm bolt. Third bolt. Okay, so those 3 bolts made it quite loose. And so now I'm just going to try to see if I can unhook it from the header. Alright, so it's unhooked from the header, but I can see that these wires that are right here are hanging up. So I'm going to try to unhook them first. Okay, so I got this plate off. As you can see, it was bolted right on there, so you're gonna have to unhook this. So looks like 10 mil, some 10 mil wrench right in there. You unscrew those and it should loosen it off a little bit so you can pull it up, and then you're going to unhook these two here from the spring. Okay, so I'm going to take off this bracket. This bracket is for holding on your plastic because it's kind of in the way to get my wrench in there. This part you'll be putting back on the bike. Okay, screw goes back in so you don't lose it. Okay, as you can see, I've loosened off these two, I don't know where my finger is here, where is it? So these two nuts here I loosened off. So now I should be able to push these back a little bit and unhook them from here. So this is actually a motor. You can hear the motor kind of going there. I'm going to push up from the bottom. I might actually just take that whole top off. That might be easier. So what I mean is this bolt here, I'm going to try to unhook this right here and see if I can pull it straight off. So it's just a 12 volt or 12 mil nut at the very top of that servo. Okay. As you can see, I took off the washer and the nut that was on top of this. It was like that. And now it should make it a lot easier to pull that exhaust off. Okay, don't lose all your parts. You can put it back together if you wanted to after. But right now, I should be able to pull it right out. And there we go. So you just take this apart here. You don't have to cut anything. Like I've watched some other guys, they cut the video, they cut all that. But if you ever want to put this back on, you can't. So now, you know, as you can see, there's a little motor in there. I don't know if you can see, but this just twists back and forth on the servo. So I will get this out of the way because this is going to go over to the other side, and I'm going to unhook it on the other side. And then it looks like there's just two 12 mil bolts to unhook the header. So I'll start with that. I'll unhook the 12 mil bolts. Again, make sure you don't lose anything. Put your hand under there, like just in case the bolt falls. You don't want that falling. Okay, the two bolts are undone, and then it just literally slides right out, just like that. So I'll just clean around inside there a little bit, just to clean it up a bit, and then I'll show you the servo, how to do that. We'll do that first before I start putting the exhaust back. Okay, to do this side, you're gonna have to remove this panel, of course, again. Pull out here, slide it forward. Comes unhooked. Okay, so now we're ready to install the 12 O'Clock Labs EXUP emulator, and all this. Again, like I said earlier, was just fool your computer to let you know that there's no more pollution control stuff on the EXUP itself. So to get this is the piece here that you're going to be undoing. So to get this undone, there's two 8 mil bolts right there that we're going to have to undo to pull this thing off. So it also looks like that is used for the bottom of your, there's a little hook here, so you're gonna have to make sure you put that back in there. Okay, so I'm completely undone now, and as you can see, make sure you save this because it's going to be part of your battery. You're going to have to put it back in to make sure your battery stays in the bike. So now we should be able to just pull this out along with the wires. So as you can see, I've pulled the wires all the way out. We're taking all of this off right here. All of this is not coming. This weighs quite a bit. There's a little, this is right here, if you can see right there. That's where you're going to plug in the EXUP emulator that you get from 12 O'Clock Labs. So completely off, weighs about a pound. You can save it for your if you ever want to put it back on, but I don't suspect I'll ever put it back on. But one of these days I'm going to weigh everything that I took off this bike to see how much it actually weighs. So a tip that I learned with when you go to put that back together is that you'll need these little metal washers because the bolts are still too long when you go to put those, when you go to put this back on. So as long as you slide these washers over top like this, then you should be good to go. So I'm just going to put it back together. Okay, so battery's hooked in. So now we'll deal with this. You're gonna have to probably sink it back up in there somehow, out of the way. So just pull out your 12 O'Clock Labs emulator and it should just plug right in. So you can see this is the top here. It's hard to show you in the video, but there's a little tab there. That's gonna go right here, just like this. Just plug it in. There, she's in there. So I may tape this up and just I'll just leave it. There's not a lot of water that gets in here, but I'm gonna try to mount it in there somehow so it's out of the way. Just like that. Maybe zap strap it, do whatever you need to do, but I'm gonna button this up and then I'm gonna go back to putting the exhaust back on. Okay, so I'm gonna start with the header itself. The header is going to go right in here. Make sure you don't lose that little washer that's in there or gasket. It's going to help with your seal of your exhaust. So it's just going to go in here like this. Just push it on, and then everything's going to be just loosely put together, fitted together, and then I'll tighten everything up once everything's all lined up, because the slip-on is going to have to be put on there too. So you got to make sure that you leave yourself some maneuverability to put it all together. And I've already tried to slip on the exhaust to this. It's a really sweet fit. It's going to be awesome. I can't wait to hear this thing roar up. You want to make sure it's somewhat flush and just put it snug. You don't need to tighten it right down because you're going to be moving it a bit. You want to make sure that this is away from all your anything that could potentially get hot, like your exhaust or your radiator hoses and stuff like that, just because you don't want to melt it. Okay, so I'm going to start by putting the top bolt back into the, just to hold it there, roughly. Just kind of slide it over. As you can see, it's a nice tight fit there. Yeah, I'm going to do the bottom one first to line it all up, because it looks like it might be easier to do. Okay, so I'm going to bolt this up now. It's got a pretty sweet seal on here. There won't be much we have to do with that. But one thing I noticed, I just did a trial run with it. The old bolt that went here, this shorter one, you're not going to be able to use, because the bracket that they give you will actually only fit the longer one that was on the edge of the exhaust. So I had to make a little plastic washer to slide over top because it's too long to bolt it in. So I'll just show you what I did. So again, you got to line it up. Again, everything's only finger tight at this point. Okay, so I'm just going to tighten all this down, and I'll show you the end result. Okay, she's all buttoned up. I put it all back together. Just a tip, I didn't see this in the package, but that bolt can be used here. But I'm still going to use the one I had there and to keep this as a spare. But as you can see, it's all nice and tight in there. It's not going anywhere. Really good seal here. They say if you're using the FMF pipe with the header, you don't need to use this little coupler to join your exhaust together. But that's all. She's all there. It's all she wrote. So let's fire it up, see what she sounds like. So she's all installed now. The instructions say to let your motor heat up and then let it cool, or retighten your bolts after it cools down, just in case there was any kind of movement. I'm going to regularly check these bolts to make sure they're not loose. They also recommend that you put a little bit of silicone in, like the heat silicone in the connections, but I'm not going to bother at this point. Stock exhaust doesn't come with anything like that, so I would imagine these are probably fine too, but I'll leave that up to you if you want to do that. So if you like the install of this exhaust, please definitely like and share this video with all your friends or anybody that might have a WR250R. Definitely check out all of my videos that I have and mods that I've done to this bike so far. This one is probably the most exciting one that I've done so far. So I'm excited to see what the power is like, and I'll make a comment below what kind of power difference I noticed with this. And I'm probably going to have to retune my power commander to make it run perfectly. At least I have a power commander there to help with that. So, but yeah, if you like my video, definitely like it or share it. Subscribe to my channel, and thanks for watching.